Hi, I'm Anigail Newland. I'm the Prevention Specialist for Service Area 13 with Preferred Family Healthcare. I covered the 9 counties listed at the bottom of the screen, and we're going to talk about how tobacco nicotine is a problem in this area by comparing 2018 to 2020 Missouri Student Survey data. And this will just be a quick overview of just some highlights. These are the big ones of why it's a problem in the area. 43.1% of youth say it is very or sort of easy to get cigarettes. That's a 0.4 increase from 2018, and it's 3.6% higher than the state average as of now. And this just means that it's very concentrated in this area, so in the middle part of northern Missouri. 9.4% have used tobacco, including cigarettes or chew, in the past 30 days, and this is 4.1% higher than the state average. 11.6% of youth have reported that they have used chewing tobacco in their lifetime. That's 5.9% higher than the state average. And when we look at age of first use, that's 12.5. That age is very low considering that you have to be 18 to purchase cigarettes, cigars, and chewing tobacco. So we want to get that age limit up. We don't want kids starting that young. The younger they use, the more likely they are to become addicted as they get older. When we talk about parent approval, 79.01% of parents say it would be wrong to use tobacco products, which is great. That sounds like a big number. But when you flip-flop that, 20.99% of parents approve of that behavior. So that's 20% of parents saying that it's okay to use tobacco products before you're 18. That's the problem, and that's where those are the people that we want to target and focus on. Perception of coolness. So 10.3% of students say it would be cool to use tobacco, the social norm, and we know that people will use that their friends want them to use to fit in, be cool. So we really want to focus on that, showing the dangers, educating. 18.2% of students say there is no or slight risk if they use tobacco. So over 80% know that there's a risk. They know that tobacco can be harmful, but this 18.2, that's still quite a few people that don't think it's a big deal. That tobacco, cigarettes, cigars, chew is not harmful. Those are the people we want to target. That's where prevention efforts need to be focused on. So including vaping and nicotine into this, of course, you know vaping, not all vaping products contain tobacco, but they do contain nicotine. So overall, the state average of youth who've used nicotine in the past 30 days is 16.9. And then we look at our service area, which is those 9 specific counties, it's 15.8%. So a little lower than the state average, but still a lot that have used nicotine in the past 30 days. And we don't know if that's using one thing of nicotine or multiple different devices. We don't know. Breaking down some of these statistics, 14.1% of youth say that they've used electronic cigarettes in the past 30 days. That's 5% an increase from 9% in 2018. And it is 4.1% higher than the state average, which is 5.3%. So very high. Lots of people using that consistently. If they are using it in the past 3 days, they're probably using it regularly. 29.3% of youth say there's no or slight risk if they smoke e-cigarettes. That's quite a bit that don't think that it's dangerous. We know that they are just as dangerous as regular cigarettes and cigars, just in a different way, right? We don't want too much nicotine in our bodies. 26.7% of youth reported that they've used e-cigarettes, mods, or vapes even just once in their lifetime, and that's 1.2% up from the state average, which is 33.6. 34.8% of youth reported that they have used nicotine at least once in their life. So this one before, right, was just e-cigarettes. This is nicotine as a whole, so that includes everything. E-cigarettes, mods, chew, cigars, cigarettes, everything like that. 18.7% of youth peers believe someone of their age would be pretty cool or very cool if they use e-cigarettes or vapes. Again, going back to that social norm that everybody thinks it's cool, we have to combat that because we know it doesn't make you cool. It's going to cause problems later in life if you do become addicted, right? We really want to focus on that. It's increased 5.4% from 13.2% in 2018, so that's going up at a dangerously high rate. Nicotine in a whole is a problem. Tobacco is a problem, vaping is a problem, nicotine is a big problem. What are we going to do to help? So this last part, this can be at a coalition level, an organization, you could even do some of this at an individual level, but these are just some examples of ways that you could combat some of these high statistics and reduce the availability and get people to start using later in life, all kinds of things like that. A big one is sending letters to communities requesting smoke vape-free policies, whether that's restaurants or public community centers, public parks, right? Getting on with the recreation department, especially parks that are affiliated with school. If you look at past community needs assessments or surveys in the community, the majority of people are for smoke-free, vape-free environment. So that's a positive. You never know what people are going to say, so put the information out there. Go to the city hall meeting. So if you work for a grant, these are very similar to like alcohol compliance checks, but you're basically making sure that vendors, people that do sell tobacco, nicotine products, are not selling to underage people. They have great signage. They're following the rules that they should be. That's going to help decrease availability. Another way is to have tobacco-free events. So if there's a no smoking policy at festivals or Red Barn or farmers market, whatever it might be, that stuff's going to be really great, right? Reduce that social norm that it's normal, that it's cool, that everybody does it. We don't want kids to see that everywhere. So having that's going to reduce those numbers as well. Educating people on the dangers of tobacco and nicotine through radio PSAs, press release, presentations. Presentations can be in the school, in the community, any kind of way. Currently, we have a coalition in Chillicothe that's student-led, and they are planning an escape room that's based around vaping. And so that's a modern way to reach the youth at their level, to educate them in a fun way. They're also hosting a pledge walk, which is similar to a 5K, except for you pledge to be vape-free, smoke-free. You get a t-shirt, right? It's fun. They don't all have to be boring. There's ways to reach people at their level, for sure. So these are just a few examples. There's lots of prevention activities that you can do. Well, that wraps up this. This was just a brief overview, and we appreciate it. If you want to reach out with any other information or questions, you can email moprevention@pfh.org. Thanks.